12th meeting of the Design Review Committee to order and let the members of the committee and the staff introduce themselves. I'm Eric Gilbertson. I'm Vice Chair of the committee.
I'm Martha Smirsky. I'm a member.
Benjamin Cheney, member.
Meredith Crandall, staff.
Now you need to review the procedures, correct?
Yes. Yep. I'm going to do a little procedures review here because we do have some people attending remotely, and I see a 2796986 number. Can you unmute and let me know who you are? To unmute when you're calling in on the phone, you want to do *6. Okay, I am going to go forward, I guess, with my remote meeting procedures while we're waiting to hear from our 279 number. Hold on, let me go back to the screen. Of course I can. Hold on. Yeah, 6986. Okay. Sorry, Jason. And I'm sorry, what did you say his last name was?
No.
Okay. Oh, if he does speak up, it helps with the meeting minutes. Okay. So, sorry for the delay, folks. All right, so oh, it shows my whole screen. Sorry about that. So this is also for people who are watching via ORCA Media. So for this, woo, goodness gracious. All right, I'm having all sorts of problems today. Let's try this again. I've been doing this for over a year and I've never had this many issues with sharing my little screen.
It's the hybrid system. If we hadn't to come in and all did Zoom, it'd been just fine.
How did that get so big? Goodness. All right. We're not going to be able to do it as a presentation. We're just going to do this. Sorry, I'm slowing us down. All right. So anybody watching from home, if you want to actually participate in the meeting because you're hearing about an application that you're interested in, you can use the link that shows here. My mouse is not working, so link here, or you can call into the meeting at 929-205-6099 and use this meeting ID to log in. If you're trying to log in and you're having problems, please email me. I do have my email up. If anybody is having problems once they're in Zoom and having technical problems, please use the chat function, but please keep that chat function to just troubleshooting or logistics questions. If you have any questions or comments about an item on the agenda, please raise your hand if we have you on video or you're here in the room, or by using the raise hand button on your toolbar. For anybody on the phone, you can press *9 and that'll show a little hand on our Zoom screens so that we'll know you have your hand up. You can also just unmute and state your name during a break in the conversation if nothing else is working. And then the chair will recognize you when it's your time to speak. If anybody from home is trying to look at the meeting materials, they can use this link here. And just a note that because we have offered Zoom as a way to access the meeting, if the public is unable to access the meeting, and we find out about it because I'll be getting emails that they can't get in and nothing I do gets them in, then we'll have to continue to the meeting to a time and place certain. I'll now hand this back over to the chair.
Okay, thank you, Meredith. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So I'll second.
And I will vote for it. So it's 3-0 unanimous approval of the agenda. The chair has no comments. So here we go to 41 State Street, Overlake Park, and who is representing the installation of the poster on the side of the building.
I'm
Just-
Hitzig with the Montpelier Public Art Commission.
Okay. And can you just explain exactly what you're doing? And do you have a presentation on the computer or?
I don't have a presentation. Kevin submitted materials for the
Okay,
application, but this is the State Street poster. Right, that's what we're talking about. So
Yep.
we have two applications.
okay, yes, it's
So this is the State Street.
41 State Street
Yep.
poster.
Um,
What business is at 41 State Street?
That's the tea shop. The tea shop, the North Branch Tea Shop. The
Okay.
cafe that, and it's the wall facing the river that we're talking about.
Okay,
What we would like to do is install a poster like the one that's on the Onion River Outdoor Building, the one that's done, the 3 photographs by Elliot Berg. It's printed on a fabric, like a Tyvek fabric that's used for billboards. But what we want to do is install another image on that building in the same style, I mean, the same way, using the same material, the same methods.
Would you like me to share screen? It'll be on Zoom and it'll be up there. Just share the application
Yeah,
materials.
that'd
Would
be
that help?
great. Yeah, yeah, thanks. Yes.
Hold on. No, this is gonna make the Zoom image of us a little tough, but members will get to see that a little better.
so and these are just representative pieces.
Oh, well, that's the actual, what we did is we asked for proposals for installing art on buildings downtown, and we selected a couple of images for doing this. And this is one of the applications that we approved. And so we would like to install that image on that building, either in one of those two places.
Oh, so, but they're both not going up.
No, just one.
Okay,
Just one.
And what are the A's and B's for? on the
Oh,
side?
just, yeah, the one location or the other location.
Okay,
Do you have a preference as to which location you would?
I
prefer?
think the B location is more, is a little bit more space. But I'm not exactly sure if it might be, yeah, it might be a little bit more, might be a foot difference in width.
is this rigid at all?
What's that?
Is it rigid at all?
No, it's a fabric. It's like a Tyvek fabric,
Okay.
polyethylene fabric,
Right,
but
it's not put on anything, right?
well, it would be on a stretcher,
Yeah.
a 2x4 stretcher.
Okay,
And the anchors would go, see, there's information there, but the anchors would go into the mortar. And that would hold the stretchers away from the building. So it wouldn't be really on the building itself. It would be sort of a little bit off and held by the anchors.
and how long do they, are they planning on leaving them up?
Well, it's a temporary installation. That material wouldn't last more than 3 years. It's probably more like a 2-year installation. Our plan is to rotate images with using the same anchors. So we would install the anchors into the mortar, and after a 2-year period, when the material is starting, before it starts to degrade, we'd replace the image and put another image in that location.
Rob, I thought I understood you to say that these are photographs.
Oh,
They don't look
no,
like
no,
photographs.
Elliot Berg's piece. on the Onion River Outdoor
Okay.
building is a photograph.
Because
But
this
that's
is-
the option of doing a painting,
Mhm.
any kind of art. You could blow up the image and print it on that fabric. So it could be a photograph, it could be a painting that's imaged, it could be a graphic that's done on the computer and anything. But as long as the quality of the image are good enough, you could blow it up to that size.
And this is the representation of the image that you're contemplating.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions?
I mean, I don't, not, that it matters here, but I assume you're putting this up with some sort of lift from the sidewalk.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's what we did.
Just
use.
make sure you're near the
Oh,
microphone.
yeah, sorry. We used the same lift that we're going to use. We used for installing the mural on that backside of the rec center. A couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah, yeah, which is beautiful, by the way. Nice
Thank you.
job. Thank you.
We're very happy with it.
It's great.
Can I ask just a
Sure.
clarifying thing, just because I've been in
Absolutely.
discussions about this? So just two things.
Uh-huh.
So is this is a request for the options of A or B, depending on where things could be placed, right? Because there's a question of whether a lift, not the lift can get out to be safely, right, over the river? Or is it more of a sizing issue?
I think it's a sizing issue. I mean, Ward Joyce, who has experience with that lift, says it wouldn't be a problem getting to that location
I
in the
wouldn't
middle.
think it would be.
Okay. Okay, so you're hoping for you to have the option of
but
A
we-
or B,
Right.
and then if you could, and then was it A or B? And then if there was an installation where it was both, where you wanted to use both, is that what you wanted as well, or just A or B, and that would be
I
where
think we
these
would
would
just
be
want one,
inserted?
we would want one image at a time. We wouldn't
Okay.
want to put two images there at the same
Okay.
time.
And then is this approval for images there, no matter what they are within that size area, right? You can switch them out without having to come back here, as long as it is actually public art, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's the idea.
The plan is for us to approve either area.
Yes.
Just make sure you're close to
And
that.
How many anchors are you intending to put in?
I'm not the one that's done these installations before. Ward Joyce on our commission has done it. I assume there's 2 to 3 on the bottom, and it must be at least 4 vertical. Might be 5 vertical. I'm not sure exactly, but that's what he did for the installation. And this is no bigger than the installation that's on the Onion River Outdoor building, and that's been there for 6 years. I don't know exactly how many he used for that
So
installation.
there's
So,
like a dozen or 15 anchors.
so it's 6,
I'm looking for
Yeah.
approximate number.
yeah, 16 is probably
Okay.
12 to 16 is, but more likely 16.
And, okay, I would suggest that we put a condition on the permit that when it's taken down, that either the holes be filled. I think sometimes it might be better to put the bolts in and leave the anchors right where they are. What do you think, Ben?
Versus pulling them out and then regrouting or something.
Yeah,
Well, by looking at these anchors, it felt like then you would have all these stainless steel kind of
shiny spot.
shiny spots that I would, not exactly knowing how they're going in, I'd probably incline to try and, I assume they're a wedge anchor, or they're some sort of in there with some sort of adhesive.
It's pretty sure it's a lead anchor
Mhm.
that the stainless steel would go into. And the plan would be to take, when you take them out, to probably just use caulk is what Ward talked to the historic preservation group about this
Mhm.
when he got approval for the Onion River Outdoors space, and he said he would just caulk the holes if you pulled the anchors out.
Yep.
But we could do route or something else if that was what was more appropriate.
Yeah, I think pulling the anchors out and filling the hole with the appropriate thing is the right thing to do. I don't know what that appropriate thing is, but
right.
having all those stainless
Yeah. Right.
things on the side of the
Yeah.
building seems weird.
Yeah, that's what
And
we were,
especially because I doubt they're all going to go in perfectly. They're going to be at
right.
mismatched heights.
Yeah, we wouldn't leave them just
Yep.
sitting there without taking them out.
Are there any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none. Now I've got a form to fill out.
Who's the
And-
artist, Rob?
What?
What was it?
Who's the artist?
She's an art teacher at U32. Chartrand is her last name, and first name was, sorry,
That's fine.
Christine, maybe it's Christine
Sounds great.
Chartrand. Is that an application? Application.
I'm sorry.
The artist.
Name of the artist.
Chartrand
Oh.
is the last name. I might be Elizabeth Chartrand, or it might be,
Chartrand,
Chartrand.
J. Chartrand. At the top of this page.
Ah, okay. Yep. Thank you. It was a random question.
And your intention is kind of keep this going and rotate it?
exactly. That's the
I,
idea. Yeah, it's very inexpensive to get these printed, and it doesn't last a long time, but if you could do it inexpensively to get these printed, it could really be a very dynamic installation that changes regularly and be very interesting for the downtown.
I have some questions about large art on the side of a historic building, but as long as it's reversible.
Yeah, it's
I'm good
completely
with it.
reversible. And yeah, it's a temporary installation.
Yeah, I've got the all projects criteria to fill out. And for historic structures, there's 3. The removal of historic materials or alteration of features shall be avoided. It's not going to do that. Character defining features and construction techniques or examples, craftsmanship and character should be preserved. That's fine. Any treatments that cause damage to historic materials included but not limited to physical treatments such as sandblasting shall not be approved. I think it meets all those criteria. So I would say it's acceptable with the condition that if it's removed, the holes be filled.
Right. Yep.
The next one, existing buildings shall be recognized as a physical record of their time, place, and use. That's acceptable. Proposed landscaping is not applicable. Location and appearance of all utilities. You're not going to do any lighting or anything, are you?
Yeah.
It's not applicable. Well, staff's already done that. Oh, nice. But
I tried to help.
yeah, I know. Operation of buildings and so that. A whole page of things that are not applicable. Use of the State House parcels on Post River and shall be oriented so the riverfront is really not acceptable height,
If you jump down to
Portion.
12.
rhythm, and roof shape not applicable. Architectural features shall not be limited to cornice, shutters, Fan lights and tables trim and molding. You're not going to cover any of that stuff up, so that's acceptable. And then roof drainage systems, not acceptable. Signage removal, outdoor lighting fixtures, not acceptable.
Not applicable.
Not applicable. Sorry.
I don't think there's any other of our standards or criteria that apply to this one.
Right.
Do a scan, but
Right.
there are just a few that actually apply to this one, but I have to put them all on the sheet on the form that you're going to take a look at and sign after Eric does.
Recommendations, the recommendation should be, there should be condition that holes be filled with appropriate material. On removal. Okay. Any other comments, questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. It's a date today, 19th.
Okay.
Oh, you're going all the way over there. Wow.
Thank you.
So Rob, you may as well just sit back down and I'll wait to give you the whole spiel and everything till we get through both of them. Right? Exactly. Got it. Nice, you don't have to try and get it to me the next day anymore.
Next is 16 Main Street, installation of interactive art experience acrylic panels. Can you do the thing up on?
I can. Sorry. Oh, hold on, let's see what way I need to orient it once I get to the pictures. All right, so I gotta zoom it around. Sorry, it only lets me do it clockwise. That's a good, tell me where you want it, Rob, just to start with and then go to maybe the site plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to give an introduction to what
Okay.
you're doing?
Yeah, so the idea is we got an application from Mike Turner and Kate, sorry, better last name, but they're with Arcana Workshop Studio in Barry. And what they want to do is take these acrylic panels and have dyes flowing across them, different colored dyes. So each panel will be different, but they'll all be organically colored. There'll be organic colors flowing through them. And they would be set on concrete bases. The bases would actually be on the ground, so you wouldn't see the concrete bases. But they would they'd be about 6 feet high, I think 2.5 feet wide. But these acrylic panels would be, you could walk around them, and there'd be about 6 of them.
And where are they going?
Well, we would like to place them in that new park across the street on Main Street, right next to the drawing board.
Okay.
Oh, the mound.
Yeah,
Where
Yep.
the old M&M beverage was.
exactly. So basically creating a interactive sculpture experience
Yep.
in that location.
And this sounds, with concrete, it sounds like it intends to be permanent.
Well, no, this is a temporary installation as well, because it's not a big money investment. It's very minimal in terms of the total dollars. So the frames around them is going to be wood, and that'll degrade over time. And it's not, I'm not sure how long the panels themselves would last, but it's planned as a 2-year installation, basically to see how it works. You know, if it is super successful, we might do something more permanent in the future, but that's a whole nother story. We might do something different, but basically the idea behind the RFP that we had issued back in January was that we wanted to throw a little bit of money in a lot of different places and see how they worked for temporary installations. And then, you know, maybe we'd have something, one thing or two things or three things that were successful, but we'd, you know, try to make it more permanent if it was very successful. And if it wasn't that successful, we could move on and do something else. But the idea behind this was it was a temporary installation.
Well, my definition of temporary is anything short of forever. So
Shorter than what?
anything short of forever. So I think that
Okay.
what I would like to do is ask you to come back to design review and renew the permit if you go beyond that. Does that work?
Beyond the 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think that's,
Give you a permit for 2 years.
Okay.
What I hate to see is stuff that deteriorates and
Right,
is in
right.
poor
No, yeah,
condition,
that's,
and
yeah,
you guys don't want either. but,
No.
uh,
we're not gonna let things just sit there indefinitely and deteriorate. That's the
That
plan.
sounds interesting.
It'll be, it's dynamic and exciting, and I think it'll really get people involved and want to interact with it. People want to see how the colors change with the light and looking through and seeing other people through the panels. I think it'll be very interesting.
You can go behind it with a flashlight.
Yeah, you could do it at night with lights. And
Rob, I have some concern about the concrete footings.
Uh-huh.
Are those going to be in ground?
Yeah, that was the plan. Yep.
And you're intending to leave those permanently?
No, if we're taking the piece out, the concrete bases would come with it.
Okay, so those are part of the temporary.
Right.
Okay.
I have a, are you done?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
done.
I mean, I have a lot of faith in Arcana, and I think the work that they do is really pretty unique and pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Without seeing these renderings, I have some concerns about the stability of the pieces based on like the public being able to kind of pull on them and them.
Right.
And I realize these renderings are not actually how they're going to get constructed, but I don't really know what my guidance is here. But
We were,
I guess it's based
yeah,
in that.
but
I
we were
believe in
hoping
Arcana.
to stake them down as well. So that wouldn't be just be the base, but also put stakes in it to hold the bases. You give some more security to the bases.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that
I'm
what you're talking about?
imagining, well, no, I mean, I feel like I'm imagining there's 3-ish bags of concrete per thing poured into a rectangle that you're going to dig out of the ground and then stuff that in there. And then it's the connection between the sign, or I'm calling it a sign, the panel
Uh-huh.
to the concrete, and just its ability at 6 feet to be able to have somebody pull that over.
Uh-huh.
Just the orientation of that concrete mass is not going the best direction to be able to
Right.
resist that overturning moment.
Right.
But again, I have faith in Mike Turner and Arcana. They've done a lot of interesting things and
Mhm.
successfully. So I believe they know what they're doing.
Mhm.
These renderings don't show how I imagine it's actually going to be created.
Do you have any recommendations as to what we should do to make it a little more stable in that way, to put something that was wider?
Yeah, I mean, I don't just something that showed a little bit more dimension, or I don't know that I need to see it, but some real consideration to how much weight needs to be down low, and then the connection between, I mean, I see it's spaced off, so it's, and wooden miter joints that are drawn here, whether they're going to get dominoed together and have a much better connection, or how they're gonna, it just feel like it isn't what I'm seeing here is a really strong structural thing that the public would be able to like grapple with. And
Right.
I worry about something like that getting
Yeah. I
fallen
think-
apart.
I thought about if you drove some heavy rebar into the ground and poured the concrete around it.
That could help, certainly,
Yeah.
that there's just something that helps prevent some of that,
Yeah, there's
as well
stuff at
as,
the top of those, there's a lot of leverage.
yeah, once you get up high, it's pretty
Right.
easy to
If
topple
the
that thing.
concrete base was a little wider,
Mhm.
that would help too.
So these are things to consider, and I'm certain, again,
Yeah,
I want to reiterate, I have a lot of
right.
respect for those guys and feel
Right.
like they know what they're doing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, if you want to leave it to us to work out the finals, I mean, I'll, or if you want me to come back with more specific drawings, we can do that too, or specific ideas, but I understand what you're saying, and
Yeah, I mean, the safety aspect isn't really so much design review purview. But I do know that, I know that this was going through as well, the river hazard for Audra to issue the permit on that. So I think maybe it's just something that if you can get our office a few more details, then it just makes sense to have that in the file.
Okay.
As to, because it may be that they were waiting to figure out the exact details of how they were going to anchor it till they got confirmation on some other
Yeah.
information. So yeah, I would just get that information to me and Audra. Especially because any tweaks to how it's all anchored, she's probably going to need to know as well, the specifics of how it's all anchored together to make sure that, in a flood event, those aren't ripped off from the
Right.
concrete anchors as
right,
well.
right. I
And
think-
that way you don't need to come back here.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm thinking
Make sure
about
you're near the microphone, Eric.
Oh.
Sorry.
the putting a 2-year condition, and the condition, if they get damaged, you're responsible to repair them. And the suggestions of that I made of heavy rerod going down into the soil. Like a few feet, you just drive in with a hammer and pour the concrete around it. It's
Yeah,
not a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, that
and-
one might be an option.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put a such as
Awesome.
and a wider base, so there's more
Stability.
more leverage
Yeah.
to hold it.
counteract leverage, yeah.
Anybody that's on want to make a comment?
Everybody we have on and here in the room is either part of the meeting, recording the meeting, or applicants.
Okay,
And nobody has a hand raised, so we're good.
I still got a form for 41 State Street. This is 16 State.
Oh, actually, I may have accidentally given you two. Sorry about that. Yep, I had a duplicate.
I can do 2 just as easy as 1. 16 Main Street.
Yes, there you go.
I think for new construction, it's acceptable. Building should be recognized as that's not applicable. Anybody has any objection to this, just stop me. Proposed landscaping should be compatible with the neighborhood at the site. That's, I don't know what this is, landscaping or not. but it's
I
getting
left-
close.
I also left that open because I wasn't sure if there was going to be any landscaping with this. It wasn't clear.
There's
but
no
it sounds like-
lighting or anything with it,
No,
unless somebody shows up with a flashlight. And then the rest of the, let's see, we got location, alterations to buildings, views of the State House dome are not applicable. all the rest of these criteria. I don't need to read them out.
No, you don't meet all the ones that I already. Just the last one, number 16, because this is kind of a site furnishing, kind of a site furnishing.
Site furnishings, including fencing, seating, and other types of site furniture.
Yeah, it's just, it
Does
just has to be
landscaping
considered.
obscure or key architectural patterns, mechanical, that's all acceptable. I am gonna put in 2 years. Return to ERC. Extend permit. And that applicant responsibility for any repairs or maintenance. And that provide measures to improve the stability installation such as a wider base rerod driven into the ground. Okay. All in favor?
I'm a yes.
Yes. Still wants the exercise.
Six with knees.
Thank you. Good
So,
luck with it all.
we should have the permits ready in the next day or two. And should we just pass them to Kevin? Should we email you, pass them to Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, the permits will have, there'll be the permit and then there'll be the notice of permit on a blue card. That blue card will need to be posted at the sites where the installations are gonna go, somewhere in public view. So the one on State Street could probably go in the front door window, maybe. That would be protected from the weather. The one across the street here, I would say somehow put it in like a Ziploc baggie and tack it to a post or something in the parcel. I know that's a little tough because you're like, well, how long is it gonna stay there? But I don't know what else to do in a vacant lot. There's not a whole lot of great ways to protect it there. And actually have it on the parcel. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Okay, 14 State Street, Vermont Rental Solution.
Shannon, you are up. Thank you for your patience.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, we wanted to make sure everybody could hear, even those in the audience here.
That's good. But
Shannon, you want to just talk about your project a little bit? I will, either you could share your screen if you want to, or I can share the application here.
Yeah, you could go ahead and share if you don't mind.
Not in the least. I will get down to where it shows the sign.
So I am opening a deli at 14 State Street. And my applications are to hang up 2 signs that say the name of my business, which is Enna.
So there's the projecting sign. I'm just showing that right now, and that's doesn't quite show what you're looking at. Hold on. Let me see if I can get, there's the good one.
Yes, so they're both the same sign made by the same manufacturer, but the one that's protruding from the building is just a mini size of this one, and that's a photo of the actual sign. So this is the sign that would go on the building.
Yep, that's that one right there.
Yes, and you have, there is a picture of the building up higher.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it would go in the middle of the, yes, right here.
What is the sign made of, Shannon?
It is 12 gauge galvanized steel.
Mhm. Painted black, or is it a metal color?
It's white.
The sign is white?
It's the color that you can see, yeah.
Yeah, because the sign area there has already been painted black by the property owner. He did that consistently on the multiple sign band areas he has on that property. So that's already black.
Okay.
Yeah, it's brown. And the
Is it brown?
brown, yeah.
Chocolate brown painted exterior.
Oh, chocolate brown. My bad.
So the sign is powder coated and it's white. And if you scroll down to the actual sign, you'll see that that is the actual color of the sign.
It's just the letters are cut out, right? And you're just applying,
Make sure you're right near the microphone.
just the letters, so your, what you're showing there is a background, not a mounting board, right?
That's the floor.
That's the
Yes,
floor.
you're correct. It's
Yeah.
just the letters. Yes, the letters are cut out.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yes,
And then you're using the holes that are in those, in the E and the N and the A for
yes.
nails or screws to be able to,
The hardware actually came with the sign, and that is, there's a photo of it right there, yeah.
oh, I see those are standoffs, those things
Yep.
that, I
Yeah.
see. So this is gonna sit in, that sign is gonna be projecting away from the building. There's gonna be about an inch or so behind the sign.
Half an inch, yes. So the manufacturers of the sign also sent the hardware with it. So it's designed to go with the sign.
And the projecting sign, is that also cut out letters?
Half inch in diameter, but that's fine.
Shannon?
Yes, yes, it's exactly the same. Yes, yes. It's just a smaller version.
And then I assume you're gonna paint the heads of the nails, or they're already painted maybe?
And I have them right here. If they're not, yeah, I can paint them. I mean, they're really, really small. I don't think you're gonna see it from like the street,
I believe that.
but I can paint them. If they show, I'll certainly paint them.
Any lighting?
Yes, the landlord has lighting that he just installed on the building. That's was here. That is part of the.
If it's in the, if you flip, you go up, I think, there's a picture that shows that where the sign is placed, and there's lighting that was before. I've got it up there. There's
Okay.
goosenecks that the landlord had put for all of his sign band areas. He had those goosenecks put in earlier this year. Came through here.
Anybody else have any questions? Hearing none. We'll give a shot at the criteria. It says signs in the design control district. The size, location, color, texture, lighting, and material of all exterior signs will be compatible with the building and structures of the site. I would say that's acceptable. Where appropriate, signage shall respect the original sign placement and the sign bias, acceptable. The building has multiple tenants. There shall be consistency in the placement of signs among all the signs. I would say that's acceptable. It's recommended sign placement be centered over building entries. That really can't be, can it?
I mean, it's in the middle of the sign band. Yeah, it can't really, it's
Yeah.
close enough.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's over the window.
I'm just gonna say it's centered on the sign band.
Yeah. It'd look weird if it was off to the size of the sign.
Next one's not
This one's still.
applicable. You're not
Oh,
going into the mortar joints.
right. I only give you one recommendation for him, and there's two signs, right? There's the projecting sign and the wall sign. So I don't know if you want to, the projecting sign looks like it's centered over the entrance. Where's the wall
Yes.
sign?
Okay.
So maybe just, sorry about that. This is my bad.
Centered on sign band, projecting sign over entrance.
Thank you, Ben.
And this one,
The
The-
heart.
the blade sign this is the hardware that's
Yeah.
holding it.
Yep, and it showed, if you flip again, there's the S. If you flip again, there's S hooks and the
Yeah.
chains to hang from that. And it's the
But it's
same.
basically the
It's
exact
it's
same
the
thing.
exact same thing, just hanging.
Sign design, color, typography shall respect historic precedents where appropriate. I think that's acceptable. Sign support structures shall be compatible with the building architecture and must not be overly complex or dominant. Acceptable. Lighting fixtures on facades of historic, now those are already, that's not applicable because those are already there. Any other comments, any other recommendations?
No.
Are you good with the mounting? Okay, good. All in favor?
I say yes.
Yes.
And I'm gonna give this to Meredith, and Shannon, you can come in and sign it, right?
Yep, so Shannon, it's up to you. You can either come into the office tomorrow and sign the recommendation form, or I can email it to you. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, if you could email it, that would be great. I'm
Okay.
open tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, of course.
Apologies,
Yes.
Lucy.
So I will email it to you.
Okay.
And then when you get a chance to sign it and send it back, and then we'll be able to get you your permit, and we can either mail the permit to you or you can come in and pick it up. Or heck, I could just walk it over. And we'll figure that out when you email back the signed recommendation form, so we can get that permit out the door. Okay.
Okay, so I have to wait until I have the permit in hand to hang up the sign. Is that correct?
You're kind of supposed to. What time do you open tomorrow?
No, it's okay.
No.
No
What time
big-
do you open tomorrow?
8 o'clock, but I probably won't have time to do it tomorrow anyway. I'm just making sure that I know.
Yep. You can
the
put
procedure.
you can put anything you want inside your window.
Yeah, I have it in the window now and
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, so I'm not gonna run around and ding you because you put it up. But what I'll do is before I leave here tonight, I'll email you this form so you can get it back, so we can get the permit signed or out the door as soon as possible tomorrow. Okay. And I will try and
Oh,
get you that
thank you.
permit
I really
tomorrow.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, everyone.
But good
You're
luck
welcome,
with your
Shannon.
deli.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, the next application is for 90 Berry Street. ADA ramp.
If you need to, feel free to move that microphone between the two of you. So you can both, you just pick it up and lift it over the laptop and stick it between you. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Oh,
Okay. I'm Michael Curtis from Washington County Mental Health. Washington County owns the building and has for 25 years or so. It was funded through VHCB. Before the pandemic, we were granted VHCB monies to fix the roof and some other stuff, and some CDBG money to complete those repairs and also make an accessible apartment on the first floor.
And I'm Joel Page with Scott Partners Architects. And
You're gonna have to speak up or pull back.
Hi, I'm Joel Page with Scott Partners Architects, and we're the project architect assisting these guys.
I walked by the building today and it's a beautiful building. I don't, yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting better. It's taken a while.
Yeah. Looking at the building, standing on Berry Street, looking at the building, where do you project that the right ramp will go?
Okay, if you go up the driveway to the building,
Okay.
there's, you can see where people park that way.
Mhm.
It's that side of the building.
Okay, so it's not facing, it's not going to be on Berry Street then?
No, that would
Okay,
be more like a carnival ride than an ADA ramp.
okay.
okay.
I can share a screen. Give me just a second. I'm trying to figure out. It's gonna take some funky maneuvering to share the different parts.
This is looking like a wood framed ramp, basically pressure treated.
Yep, pretty straightforward, simple,
Yeah.
simple construction. Concrete piers, you know.
Yep. And then I'm looking at right. I'm looking at four sections, so I'm only seeing handrail on one side, but so there would be a handrail
Yes,
on the other side.
yeah, it's designed to meet ADA requirements. So
Yeah.
a handrail on both sides,
Yeah.
little curb.
You're putting the railing across the porch, right?
Correct. So you basically, where the parking area is, you'd have immediate access off the parking area to the beginning of the ramp.
And it's just going to be treated in what color?
I don't think we've decided on a color, but it would be coordinated with how we're gonna paint the building. So probably if we're gonna, we haven't really talked
No,
about
the
where we're
building's
heading.
just painted.
Yeah.
So whatever, it was gray or something.
So you said the building was just painted, so similar to these pictures.
Right.
So it'll somehow coordinate with what the colors we've got
Probably
right
the-
now.
Yeah, same scheme.
Right.
Yeah.
We got, that was done by the lead program a couple of years ago,
Sorry,
the
it's
paint job.
oriented funky.
Don't you have to wait a year when you're using pressure treated
You
lumber?
have to allow it to dry out. Doesn't necessarily have to be a year, but it has to get to a good acclimated point to accept paint.
And I look at the roof and I worry a little bit about snow landing on it. I can't exactly tell from the drawing, but it's outside the roof.
Yeah, there is a gutter, but they will have to maintain it. You know, there will be the potential for snow.
And the gutter is right above the center of it, right?
Right.
I guess that's not our thing, but that doesn't seem ideal to me.
Well, it's the challenges we have.
Yeah, I understand. One of the things that Steve Everett, who's chair, sometimes suggests is using a metal grate when there's snow and water
Mhm.
rather than pressure treated, so that it just falls through.
Yeah, it's a much more expensive cost if we were gonna do a whole run of it. That's what we'd end up having to do. So I think if these guys can, do their diligence and do the maintenance required, it should be.
Are you gonna put down any of those traction, stick-on traction thing?
Right. Not at the moment, but I guess we will see how the tenant is and then accommodate that as needed.
Not, it's like I said, it's not our
Yeah. No, it's a good
design
question.
review.
Usually, follow the requirements of the ADA and then adapt as we need to per the
Yeah.
person.
Eric, just to, you could give them the option to do that steel grading on the ramp if it ends up being something they can work into the budget, and then they don't have to come back if they change that
Yeah,
material.
okay, can do that.
Is that okay? It just gives you an option if you can
Yeah.
find a way to work it into a budget, so it would then be less maintenance potentially.
Budget's a little thin.
Yeah, I know. I know. In case you found a miracle grant or donor somewhere, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure you had that option so you wouldn't have to
Yeah.
come back and get another permit for it. The permit's good for 2 years.
Any other questions or anything?
No,
But I'm a big advocate for providing handicapped access for a
Us-
number of reasons.
yes,
us
So
too.
thank you for doing that.
Us too.
Okay, now I gotta find the right form.
That one I just did in red, the few things that apply,
Okay,
because there's only a few.
this is for historic structures. You're not removing any historic materials. You're not impacting any character defining features. Or you're not causing any damage to historic materials.
No.
Acceptable. And existing buildings shall be recognized as a physical record of their time, place. And this is acceptable. It's a handicap ramp, simple handicap ramp, perfect. And we got a lot of not applicable here. And then we get to architectural features. Architectural features not limited to windows shall be considered in the alteration of a building, where you're really not altering the building. I would say that's acceptable. I mean, I think simple solutions are almost always better.
do have one more comment after I flip the page. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
did I miss one?
No.
He's looking at the
Oh.
application.
Oh,
So-
I did miss one. Alterations
Oh.
to buildings called for by public safety code shall be designed to maintain the character of construction materials. That's acceptable.
So Ben still does have a question.
And it's more just a comment regarding the railing on the exterior of the ramp. And all the wooden pickets as it marches up the ramp. Don't believe all those are required by the time that you get to 30 inches, then they're required.
Right.
But as both maintenance and visual lightness and less material to
Mhm.
purchase, I don't think you need those.
I can agree. Yeah.
And so
So we can simplify that.
and
So
I,
that
Saves
could,
money.
that could be options.
Yeah, pressure treat hasn't come down yet.
no, and I think it just,
They don't
it
like-
puts a lot of visual clutter on a beautiful
Yeah.
building that's
I
unnecessary.
agree.
So then I'm gonna put that in as an option, is just removing the railings.
Yeah, you still need the
Pickets.
handrails, but you don't need all the vertical.
Okay,
So you'll need the handrail because we're below 30 inches. You don't need a guardrail, and we'll need a curb on the edge.
But you don't need all the 4-inch fall protections.
So we'll
it's
have
probably not gonna save you enough money to put in the grading for.
Might not, but it will lessen some of the impact of.
Maybe.
Yeah,
there's
the
some
more,
building-
it'd be more of a see-through. I've got the grading floor is an option and removing verticals and the railings, some of the verticals, I guess.
And that way just
Mm.
resort to what building code requires versus making it look exactly like the rest of the railings of the
Mm.
building.
I did forget one of the criteria, the porches and stairs. Location of porch shall be placed and does not impact or undermine the original significant ornamentation of the building. No, stairs, ramps shall be employ suitable detailing to connect and be compatible with historic. I did think it does that. Stairs and ramps, I think it's a good idea though, to just provide a little more transparency through there, since it doesn't look like there was ever a railing on that porch. You don't need it above 30 below 30 inches, do you?
No.
Right.
That's what I thought, yeah. Stairs and ramps should be designed in a manner, details and materials to provide the most sensitive and compatible structure that fits the building. Okay, that's all acceptable. I guess all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, one of you needs to sign this. I don't know.
I'll take it over to Steve, I guess.
So, yeah, preferably someone with authority from the applicant. Applicant or owner, I guess. We'll get that out in the next day or two. Would you prefer it mailed to you, or do you want somebody to email you and have you just come and pick it up?
The latter.
Okay, I'll make sure to. Audra issues, she emails you.
Great.
Hold on.
Okay.
I have, yes. Want to make sure I had your email address.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good, thank you.
Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking care of the building. That's the end of the applications. We probably can't do the minutes, can we?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm the only one here who was at that meeting.
Hmm?
I'm the only one here who was at that meeting.
Okay.
So,
Other business?
not from me.
Just a plea to anybody watching via ORCA, to, if you're interested in being on the design review committee, to please contact me. We could use some additional members.
The only thing I guess I could have put it in the comments in the chair, but
Get by the microphone.
the Historic Preservation Commission has been charged and received a grant for developing guidelines for the design review committee, and we would anybody that wants to participate in that, and members of the design review committee particularly. We have hired Brandy Saxton to do the work, and anything. I would certainly appreciate any input from particularly design review committee members that of what needs to be illustrated, and any good pictures of things, or what you feel the public needs the most information about.
The next HPC meeting will be Tuesday, August 10th. And we'll actually, the plan is to be meeting with Brandy and hashing out the table of contents and some lists of illustrations that she might be putting together, as well as photographs of buildings around Montpelier or other cities to work into the guidelines that are illustrated for how to use the design review regulations. So feel free to contact me if you want some other information, but we would love to see you and get your input as we go along.
Maximum participation, because at this point there are 4 members.
There'll be 4 members of HPC as of this Wednesday. Our 4th
So-
member is going to be appointed hopefully
And-
this Wednesday.
And since design review is the one that are going to be using these things, any input would be appreciated. Okay, since I can call the meeting to order, I can also gavel adjournment.
Wow, all right. We didn't even have to
What do you-
second, we didn't have to motion, we didn't have to do anything. Just get that gavel out and we're done. All right.
Thank you, Eric.